doing, folks? Aren't you glad you caught this act?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Coaster Fanatics all over the world, it's time to get together for a roller coaster countdown. I'm your host, the Coaster Fanatic. This coaster countdown is, of course, as you can already tell, is on Kings Island. This is one of my favorite Cedar Fair parks that I've been to. They got a great coaster lineup, and oh my gosh, some of their coasters are just really need to be mentioned. So here we go. This is my opinion, the top 10 coasters at Kings Island. Hopefully I come close to yours, but let's get started anyway. Number 10 is Adventure Express. This is the aerodynamics mine train of the park, and this is a very great family roller coaster. Out of all the mine trains I've ridden, this is my second favorite, only behind Thunderation at Silver Dollar City. But this is a great ride. Out of all the ones, this wasn't as rough, and it was actually intense. It wasn't one of those boring rides that it's like, okay, that was nothing. It's like, you get it for the credit and it's not really that enjoyable. But this one was enjoyable. It was almost worth the credit. But out of all the mine trains, this one has the most and best theme. You mainly see it towards the end of the ride, where you're going up the second lift hill and you're in a tunnel, and it's got these Egyptian things that are haunted, and you're coming up to what looks like hot gold or something like that, something that's about to be poured on you, and it looks really cool. So good job Aerodynamics and Kings Island for this crazy family roller coaster. And you can easily switch number 10 and number 9, but I put number 9 as Vortex. What the heck? This thing is unbelievably rough. This is one of my least favorite aerodynamics roller coasters that I have ridden. It is just not fun at all. The drop is what made the ride okay. That's the only reason why this made number 9, is because of the drop and those famous double corkscrews that aerodynamics is just really good at. But this is just your typical aerodynamics roller coaster. And when I got off this, I had a bruise and I could not feel my left arm for a couple of hours. I could not feel it. And then it went completely numb, and then I also hit my elbow on my right arm, so my funny bone reacted, and it was just so rough. And the main part of it was, on the first turn after the drop, it immediately kind of goes into a straight section before turning again to the loop, and that really hurt so bad. This is just a very rough aerodynamics roller coaster. It's not very fun to enjoy. I only rode it because of the credit. Number 8 is one of 3 inverting roller coasters at the park. One of them is technically not an inverted coaster, but we'll get to that later on as we get through the video. But number 8 is Invertigo. I was a little bit disappointed with this roller coaster. I thought it would be more fun than the normal boomerang sit-down roller coaster that Vekoma makes. However, this one had to be a lot more. This one was a lot worse of a ride, mainly because it has the SLC trains. Well, not really. It has the SLC trains and the same supports. So I was expecting a little bit of a rough ride, and I got a rough ride. I got a head banging when I was going backwards and forwards, especially on that Cobra roll. Vekoma, like B&M, Vekoma is not really good with Cobra rolls on inverted coasters. But what's really cool about this ride, and I will give it a thumbs up for this, is the way it has 2 separate seats. It has one facing forwards and one facing backwards, so you can face backwards the first time, then forwards the second time, or you can go backwards or forwards the first time, then backwards the second time. Number 7 and number 6 can easily be switched, but I put number 7 as Flight of Fear, the premier ride Spaghetti Bowl launch coaster of the park. You can find a exact clone of this at Kings Dominion, and 2 outdoor clones at Six Flags America and Six Flags Fiesta Texas. And both the ones at Kings Dominion are called Flight of Fear, but I like this one at Kings Island more, just because this one has more theming too. What I also love is they also have a show that goes on. Instead of just the normal fun TV, they have a cool little show that really entertains guests while they're waiting in line, and it really gives a theme for what you're about to experience. That extraterrestrial, that spaceship that crash landed, and they're testing all these things on it to see, is it actually extraterrestrial? Is there any living beings in it, or is it just a fake setup and stuff like that? And it's so cool. However, there's no real theming after you launch, but it's still cool, and at least it's not as rough as the one at Kings Dominion. Now, like I said, you can easily switch number 7 and number 6, and this is going to be a shocker for a lot of people. This is the bad at Kings Island. Well, this is Kings Island, but this is the bad. This is a crazy inverted roller coaster. Now, like I was saying earlier, this is not really an inverted roller coaster. This is actually a suspended roller coaster, which means you're basically sitting in a normal car, but you're still suspended below the track. And it is a very fun. I was blown away by this roller coaster. It's a family roller coaster, but it is fast, and what's cool is it goes fast later throughout the ride, because this thing is just uses the terrain to its advantage. It's got a very hilly terrain. That's what most of the coasters at Kings Island do. They definitely use the terrain to its advantage. You'll see more of these as we get further and further to the top 5, top 3. And this ride is no exception. This ride is just crazy, and it's so much fun. And of course, the signature thing with all suspended coasters is the final turn at the end will swing you for a couple of seconds, and it's very fun as well. So yeah, number 6 is the bat. Like I said, you can easily switch number 7 and number 6, but I think number 6 the bat. This is a very fun aerodynamics roller coaster. Aerodynamics did a great job with these. Number 5 is also a surprising roller coaster by a not so surprising company. This is Firehawk, which is a Vekoma Flying Dutchman roller coaster. Kings Island has some crazy aerodynamics and Vekoma roller coasters, and this is a very good Vekoma roller coaster. Most of the Flying Dutchman coasters are very smooth, very fun. Not you, Nighthawk, get out here. But Firehawk is just very fun. It's got some great theming, and I don't have to say which one's better, this or Batwing. They're both about the same, but what really takes the cake for these Flying Dutchman roller coasters is that loop. It's no pretzel loop, but it's still very fun and very intense, and what makes the flying coasters really fun besides that first drop. Number 4 is the classic roller coaster in the park. This is the Racer. You can find a clone like this at King's Dominion, which is the Rebel Yell, but this one is unique as it brought back the age of the roller coasters. This was the first one to be built after the first golden age and created the second golden age of roller coasters. This is what started it all. Also has a little bit of a different layout than the Rebel Yell, and it's very fun. I gotta tell you, those airtime hills were ejector airtime. It was a very fun roller coaster. I love classic wooden roller coasters, and this one is no exception. Now, number 3 and number 2 can easily be switched. I mean, if on a good day or a bad day, whatever you think. But I think number 3 is the Beast. This is a beast. They nicknamed this really good because this ride is a beast. Look at that drop, 141 feet. And for its age, it opened 1979. That's one of the oldest roller coasters in the park, and it's crazy for its age. You wouldn't think that a roller coaster that's that tall, that fast. Of course, it's only 110 feet, but that drop is 141 feet, and man, it's crazy. This thing is so fast, they have to put trims on it because you might derail off the roller coaster. That's how crazy this ride is. Although it's more straight sections, for its age, it's still fun. It is very intense, but what made the ride was the nighttime ride. Do not go to Kings Island without riding a nighttime ride on this roller coaster. It is crazy. Like I said earlier, this ride incorporates the terrain with its layout. Kings Island was really good with doing that for most of the roller coasters, and the Beast is the main reason for terrain coaster. This thing is all about the terrain. It uses the hills to speed up. It doesn't reach that 64/65 miles per hour until later throughout the ride, and it's fun. I love those 3 tunnels. So make sure you get a nighttime ride on this because the Beast is amazing. But yeah, what I think is just barely better than this is the Banshee, the newest roller coaster at Kings Island. This is the longest B&M inverted, well, just the longest in general inverted roller coaster out there, and is the fastest B&M inverted coaster out there. This thing is fun. It just goes inversion after inversion. I found this ride to be glossy smooth and just have some intense elements. I enjoy this ride. It also made this ride very fun is the nighttime ride. It doesn't show it as much, but this ride also interacts with the terrain. It doesn't reach that 68 miles per hour until just before that Batwing element because it's going downhill after that 0G roll. And man, are those inversions fun. My favorite one is, besides the 0G roll, because man, I love 0G rolls, is that final roll, that Heartline roll. You just slowly go over it with a crazy amount of hang time. So B&M and Kings Island also did a great job with this roller coaster, and it's very fun. I also like the theming too. It's got some great theme to the Banshee, this crazy creature that lurks at night that takes your soul, and it's just so awesome. And I love they also have tombstones with rides, and especially the Son of Beast, because this replaced the old Son of Beast that used to be there. And what could be number one? Well, how about the tallest roller coaster in the park? This is Diamondback, the B&M Hypercoaster. This is right now what people say has the most airtime on any steel roller coaster out there, and I found a lot of airtime on this. I agree, this had a lot of airtime, and it was ejector time on some of them. It was mainly floater, but I could feel it. I could feel ejector airtime just getting launched out of my seat. And what's also cool is that splashdown at the very end, which is not on most it's only on 2 hypercoasters, this one and Shambhala at Port Aventura in Spain, and then you mainly see them on the 2 B&M dive coasters, which is Griffin and Shikra, and these are very fun roller coasters. I gotta say, this is one of the best B&M hypercoasters I've been on. It's just got airtime after airtime, and once again, that nighttime ride is intense. What's also cool is that it has some helixes and bank turns. It usually, most hypercoasters just go out and then straight back. This one actually goes kind of out, turns around, comes back, but then has a helix to the mid-course brake run. It has more time, and another helix to have a water splashdown. So there's not as much as, but you still get a lot of airtime. So that is my top 10 roller coasters at Kings Island. What are your top 10 roller coasters at Kings Island? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, and as always, Coaster Fanatics, keep coasting.
Till the sun shines, Nelly, and the clouds go drifting by. We will be happy, Nelly, don't you cry. Down Lover's Lane we'll wander, sweetheart, you and I. Wait till the sun shines, Nelly, by and by. Yes, by and by. Bye-bye, everybody. See you later.